Lesson 2.1, Transformations of Quadratic Functions. How do you describe and write transformations of quadratic functions? In our last video, we did 2 practice problems together, and you were assigned the remaining 2 problems on the page for individual practice. Today, let's go ahead and go over the answers to make sure you guys are doing it okay. So I'm going to solve each problem using both a combination of Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 skills. So inside minus, using my Chapter 1 skills, inside minus told me to go to the right 2. Outside minus, using my Chapter 1 skills, told me to go down 2. The problem told me to describe. I used my Chapter 1 skills to describe my transformation. So this meant that I went to the right 2 and down 2. So this is my new vertex. I see that my leading coefficient right here is a 1, which meant I had no vertical changes or shifts or anything. So that meant my movement is the parent movement, over 1 up 1, over 1 up 3, over 1 up 5. I can completely graph this entire thing using my Chapter 1 skills. Let's connect it to Chapter 2. So vertex form is f of x equals a in parentheses x minus h squared plus k. The a is what tells us if we are vertically stretching or shrinking. My a is 1, so I have no vertical stretch or shrink, which is how we knew our movement was our parent movement. My h is the number I'm subtracting. I was subtracting the 2. My k is the number that I am adding. I'm not adding like I'm supposed to be, which meant I should have added a negative 2 in order to make it be a minus 2 when we simplified it. My vertex is supposed to be the coordinate point hk, which meant my vertex was the coordinate point 2, negative 2. And that is the exact same vertex I got when I did my Chapter 1 skills. Because a is 1, I know that my parent movement is the movement that I need to do because there was no change. So over 1 up 1, his partner. Over 1 up, 1, 2, 3. Don't forget his partner. Over 1 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't forget his partner. And then I graphed this parabola, my quadratic function, using both a combination of Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 skills. So your second independent practice problem, first, let's solve it using Chapter 1 skills. On the inside, I saw an added 5. If on the inside you see an add 5, I know that was supposed to be going to the left 5. On the outside, I saw an add 1. Outside add 1 told me to go up 1. So if I went to the left 5 and up 1, this is where my vertex would be. This was using Chapter 1 skills. There was no multiply, which meant my parent function movement was the movement that I am going to do. So this was us doing it all Chapter 1. Let's go ahead and connect it to Chapter 2. So what is the quadratic function for the vertex form? It's a parentheses x minus h squared plus k. So for Chapter 2, I need to identify the a. There is no number in front, so he's the secret ninja 1, which meant my movement was my parent movement. There was no change. My h is what number I am subtracting. Well, I'm not subtracting, which meant the only way that I could have been from subtraction to add was if my number was negative, and it was 5. My k, I need to be adding a number. I am adding the 1, so my k is 1. My vertex is going to be the coordinate point hk, and so my vertex is the coordinate point negative 5, 1. And since a was 1, the parent function is the movement. There was no change. I found the same exact vertex using the Chapter 2 vertex form as I did using the Chapter 1 knowledge. So now I just need to use the parent movements to go ahead and graph. And there is my quadratic function graphed using Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 skills.